Is the all-new EX90 a get-it-or-skip-it electric third-row SUV? We're showcasing the 2025 Volvo EX90 twin-motor electric Ultra in Vapor Gray over Dawn. Two trims to choose from, the Plus or the Ultra, which is going to be fully loaded, giving you the air suspension, 310-mile range, and they have a performance variant that gets a 0 to 60 1 second quicker than this. But is all of this plus a 10 to 80% charge in about 30 minutes enough to get it or skip it? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and we're going to go over some pros and cons, compare this against some of the competition to show you what you're getting with the all-new EX90. Now, if you're thinking XC90, this is a completely different animal. It's around 3 inches longer. Thor LED headlights, these are actually very unique. The daytime runnings will start, and then the headlights will actually come through the daytime runnings, and then it will go backwards whenever you're going back into your LED daytime running. So I think it's very sophisticated what they're doing. I like the technology, especially when you're going all electric. Usually the best lighting in the business is Audi, but I think this is actually going a little bit more superior than those matrix design LED headlights. The lower is going to get the active grille shutter with the glossy black front parking sensors with the 360-degree reverse camera, and because this is the Ultra, you're getting the air suspension, so it's going to drive a lot more smoother. So that is definitely a reason why I would tick the box to this. And the pure electric 111 kilowatt lithium ion battery is producing 402 horsepower with 568 pound-feet of torque, and that's achieving 86 mpges for the city, 82 mpges for the highway, with a combined at 84 mpges. So you're getting enough range. You get the updated styling that I would like to see in the XC90, but if you go into a 2025.5, they did refresh the whole front and changed out the wheel design. Here, you're going to be set with a 21-inch wheel, and you could get up to a 22-inch wheel with the glossy black on the lower skirt. The side view mirrors, I like that it's on this little pedestal, and they do this because in Europe, you don't have to have a side view mirror. You can just use the actual camera. So it's already ready for European spec as well as the United States spec. Now, it does have some twist to it. It has a key card instead of a key fob because you're going to be using your smartphone to lock, unlock, and start the vehicle the majority of the time when you're going EV. So it's very similar to Tesla, the way they're doing things, but it's not going to be as quick, and the range is not going to be the same. Charging time is also not going to be up to par to something like a Rivian and a Tesla, but if you're putting it in comparison to like Mercedes and BMW, it's spot on. Plus, it's a third row variant. Towing does decrease about 150 pounds because you're at 4850 here, but you have the same capacity on top of the roof rails when you add the crossbars of 220 pounds. And that leads me to a reason why I would get it. The performance is there, charging times is spot on with all the competition more or less, and you have plenty of range. But that leads me to a reason why I would skip it, because it's not going to be the best in class when it comes to charging times and range. That will still be led by the all-electric variants like Tesla and Rivian. And then putting the price into perspective, $86,000, I mean, this is going to go well over 90 grand when you go into performance variants, and then that's going to unlock a lot more performance variant vehicles in the German side. The rear is going to have the C-structure LED taillights that integrate into the glossy bar on the top, the Volvo print. The lower gets all gloss black with reverse sensors, and safety is always in mind when it comes to Volvo, because you're going to have the blind spot monitoring with steering assist and cross traffic alert with collision avoidance. That's going to be at low and high speed collision mitigation and detecting vehicles, pedestrians, and cyclists. This one will not detect the animals like the XC90. Driver understanding system with the occupant sensing. In braking, it has automatic after collision with runoff road protection and runoff road mitigation, lane departure warning and lane keep aid, whiplash protection system. That's going to be for the front seats, park assist for the front and the rear and the side. And of course, it's going to have the adaptive cruise control, because what luxury vehicle doesn't have it? But is these features and what you're getting all in together going to be enough to get it or skip it? Let me know in the comments, because if I'm looking for a full EV at this price point, should I look at this or should I look at something else? Power liftgate going into 10.9 cubic feet of storage. LED interior lights, bag holders that can hold 5 kg on both sides, 12-volt charger. You get a little sleeve of storage here underneath. The floor gets a ton of storage. And you can lower the suspension electronically in the rear. So it makes the load easier for you. I mean, look how low it goes. Now it's literally like a sedan. And you can lower and raise the third row at a 50-50 split, increasing cargo. 23.1 cubic feet of storage, but as you're noticing, if the back seats are reclined too much, it will not fold all the way. Either way, you'll have to go into the back in order to split fold these second row seats at a 40-20-40 split, and that will maximize the cargo capacity to 67.6 cubic feet of storage. And if that's not enough room, you get 1.6 cubic feet of storage underneath the frunk. The key card to the EX90. You'll hold it here, and they'll open up the doors, which we already have them opened up. Power seat adjustment for the front, heated ventilated seats, Nordical wrapped interior, which is a synthetic leatherette. I like the bolstering and the pattern that comes into play. Manual cushion extensions. And it's going to be a more minimalistic look that you're going to see throughout the interior of the vehicle. 14 speakers through Bose with 14 channels, 760 watts. They do have an upgraded Bowers & Wilkins sound system that will have a little speaker that will be through here. 25 speakers found throughout the interior of the cabin with 1610 watts. It is going to be a driver focused setup. You do have a full pass through, and it has the carpet with an area here that you could hold larger water bottles, 2 USB-C ports. The chrome rules surround the lower part of the dash. I like the seamless air vents and the wood that comes into play. With a 14.5 informational display. This has Google Assist, Google Maps, Google Play, Apple CarPlay, Sirius XM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. When you click onto this car icon, this basically does everything. So to turn on and off your lights, to adjust the side view mirrors, you'll click onto here, and then you'll just follow here, and it will move the actual side view mirror that's on this little pedestal. And it's unique because in Europe, you already have the camera there, which you wouldn't have the side view mirror. So I like how they put that station there, and you would just click onto the right side to adjust that. As well as the steering wheel, to adjust it, you would just go up and down here for the telescoping steering wheel, and to move it forward and backwards, as well as the heads-up display to adjust the level of that would show you everything. All the adjustments here, including to open up the glove box. This is a little bit of a learning curve. There's a ton of different settings. And even for something simple to turn on and off the vehicle, you have to go into controls. You go into car mode. You have it in park. And when you do so, you can open up the power option to turn on and off the vehicle. So look how many buttons that you have to click just to turn the vehicle on and off. It does make it a little bit less intuitive when you have to use everything through this infotainment screen. But let me know if that's a get it or skip it for you in the comments. Not only do you have the hazard here, but you have it here, as well as your defrost here. So if this doesn't work and you are trying to do the defroster, well, now you have it right here as a quick tab. Just wish that they had a little bit more buttons. Wireless charging pad, I like how seamless this is. It opens up with the cup holders, and this is the only rotary knob that we have in the whole vehicle, besides these touchpad buttons on the steering wheel that's 3-spoke. I like the design of the steering wheel, 9-inch gauge cluster. It is somewhat configurable. You can put the full navigation, and I like how tech-driven it is because it's made it a lot more intuitive, especially for reversing. You have your 360-degree reverse camera here, touch onto the screen, and you got the 3D view, you got the front view, or you got the rear view, and you can go all around the vehicle. So it's very similar to something like Mercedes. If it's soft to touch where it needs to be, it opens up into a deep storage pocket, and it goes even deeper by this little area that you would put your finger through here so you could hide your wife's credit card, so that way she doesn't spend any more money on any of the goodies because she just got a new EX90. Leg space is more than enough. The same thing with headroom. They do a great job. And remember, this is about 3 inches longer than the XC90. LED interior lights with an auto-dimming rear view mirror, the dashboard and door panel configured together with the contrast stitch. I wish it was more soft materials, but I do like the wood inlays that come into play. Here's another minimalistic design that they've done. When you push here, it will change the windows to the rear, and it will change it to the front so you can raise and lower your dual pane windows. It's going to be soft to touch where it needs to be with a long storage pocket. And what kind of vehicle would it be without soft closed doors? For the back seat, This is the opening that you have. You don't have any manual sunshades. It's soft to touch only where it needs to be, with about the same size storage pocket and keeping that minimalistic, clean look. That's what they're doing through the back. With the cup holders and armrests, you can fold this up, and just like the XC90, you have the booster seat here in the center that you can lift up. So you don't have to pay extra money for a booster seat. You got it in your EX90. I like the seat design that comes into the back with the storage net air vents on the side and in the center, as well as dual climate control, heated rear seats, 2 USB-C ports. Check out the leg space that you have in the headroom. Now you do sit up higher in this row compared to the front, but it's still more than enough headroom for somebody tall like me. You can adjust the seat forward, and that will give optimal leg space for the third row occupants. And I can also recline these seats back, so it's a little bit more of a luxury ride. The floor is flat, so sliding over, you're not going to share any feet space, but leg and shoulder space is not really shared either. But because of the booster seat, you do sit a little higher. It is a little bit less comfortable sitting into the center, and headroom, it's still more than enough. To go into the third row, pull this here and it will slide forward so 2 more occupants can fit. And what I like about the EX90 opposed to the XC90 is here they're doing exactly what I always say. They should just leave this area so you have a little bit more butt space, because it is a little bit tight back here. You have a cup holder area, you got air vents, you have your LED lighting, and that's pretty much the gist of it. As for headroom, it's going to be a lot more cramped, and you sit up a little bit higher in the third row opposed to the second row. The EX90 twin motor electric Ultra is what we're showcasing. 111 kilowatt lithium ion battery. That's going to give us 402 horsepower, 568 pound-feet of torque, around 5.7 seconds 0 to 60. And if you need more performance, you go into the performance variant and you unlock 1 second quicker on that 0 to 60, and it keeps the same 310 mile range. So I do like that, because typically when you go into competition like BMW, Audi, and Mercedes, anything with the word performance added to it, you're going to lose range. But it's going to lead me to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros, the luxury you're getting is going to be by far awesome, especially for the pricing that you're at. Not a huge fan of the power seat adjustment, the little box that they put on the driver's seat and passenger seat, but you do have the massage seats because we are in the Ultra trim. I like that we're getting ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, quad climate control settings. The screen configuration, that's going to take me into the cons. You have to do every single thing through there, and it just gets a little bit more confusing for the owner of the vehicle. I mean, you got to do your lighting, you got to do for your driving stuff, you got to do for turning on and off the vehicle, for the locking of the vehicle, the climate control of the vehicle. Literally every single thing, including your side view mirrors, are there. And you have to usually do about 2 to maybe 3 inputs on multiple things. Especially for the climate control, you click it once and you got to click it again. I wish it was a little bit more simplified. I get the minimalistic look that we're going for, but the Scandinavians usually give us some shortcuts. So I appreciate that they at least give us the defrost as a shortcut, and also giving us the hazard light button. Not a big fan of vehicles that add the gauge cluster on the steering column, because it just kind of takes away from that luxury. It feels more like a Mini Cooper. I do like that we get the heads-up display and we have the air suspension, but again, you have to go into the Ultra trim in order to unlock some of these features that we're talking about. Now, because it's easier to configure, that also makes it a get it for me. But because it's too tech-driven, for me, that's a reason why I would skip it. But a lot of people that are looking to get something different than a Tesla, you're going to be in love with this. And another con for me is that even the seat settings, you have to do some of them kind of through the infotainment screen in order to know what you're doing. Obviously, as you own the vehicle, you'll get more used to it. But for performance, I mean, this thing has a lot of power. And to show you those dynamics, it's going to keep you pinned in your seat. Smooth, quiet, luxurious. It ticks the box to all 3 variants. Is it a get it or skip it? Well, for me, if I'm looking in this price point and I'm trying to get something different than a Tesla or Rivian or even a Lucid, I think that they have done an outstanding job. We've been waiting in North America for about 2 years for this variant. It's all new. It's not the XC90. So I like that they have done that transition too. There's a lot of tech in it. that's a reason why I would just not get it, because I just feel like it's a lot more tech driven than it needs to be, making it more complicated for the owner. But if you're somebody coming from those variants, then you're already used to this because of them doing the same systems more or less. Braking on the vehicle, whew, it can stop on a dime. Turn radius. Now the XC90 is about 3 lanes, and it's gonna be the same case for this. Let's rock and roll. I just like how compelled the vehicle is. I mean, when you're thinking about getting into an electric variant, a lot of things that people start getting nervous about is your range and the power, because you add a lot of weight to these vehicles because of the battery. You're not really having any sluggish feel here. The touch to feel in the interior is good. Everywhere that you would rest your arms, it's going to be soft. The manual cushion extensions at this price point is definitely a con, but giving the massage seats kind of overshadows that. I like that we have a full pass-through because you don't receive that in the XC90. And the other twist to it is you have to hit constant all-wheel drive if it's something that you're considering to use for all-wheel drive, because it will switch to a 2-wheel drive vehicle. But with that being said, I do like that we have the capabilities of a constant all-wheel drive, because in bad weathers, well, now you have basically a bad weather mode. For me, I'm not all into electric vehicles, so I would not personally get it. I would go for the XC90 Recharge because I feel like that's the best blend of both worlds. But if I was wanting an EV SUV, this is something I would definitely entertain. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check this next video out right here.